Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Here we are. Back at it. Back at it again. Hardly feels like it's been a week, huh? Time just flies. Heart, 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 heart. I'm not a seal, but I don't mind pretending to be one. Yeah. So, before we start, I am going to give the usual disclaimer. Disco Elysium is a game that has various adult and controversial themes. If that kind of content is not in your wheelhouse, then this game or this stream might not be for you. Anything that I say during the stream will be in character. So please do remember that. In character. The beliefs of the character, as evidenced by the love quest from the last stream, are not necessarily the beliefs of the streamer. Yeah. Okay, let's get started, shall we? Hey there! Oh, no. No, hey there. We have a problem here. It's on the wrong microphone. That's definitely a problem. There we go. Sorry about that. I should be talking now. You can see all the different microphones I have. Yeah, hey there, hi there. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau here. Good to see you back. We're going to be playing more Disco Elysium, of course. It looks like I have a level up. I don't know what I want to put that into. Let's put it into... What do we even have here? I don't even know. Endurance? Let's put one into endurance. We're gonna need endurance, I think. We're definitely the type that likes to run around a lot. What else do we need? We have 4 in electrochemistry. That's probably enough. Do we have charisma somewhere? You know what? Let's put one into drama. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. Accept changes. There we go. And we were going to talk to this lorry driver, right? Yeah, he's the last one.
Welcome to Raphael.
Announces the rotund man. The remark isn't addressed to you, it's addressed to the lieutenant. Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Raphael me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago.
Kim, that's pretty deep. Was that really what the heart of the comment was, Kim?
Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
What's happening, Kim? You sound angry.
It's men like you who keep Raphael divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Ah, I get it. So we're in limbo. I thought this was hell.
Oh, come on, man. I just said, welcome to Raphael. It's a lorry driver thing.
That is a lovely portrait. I have never seen a man who looked more like a rat than that portrait.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave.
What?
But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Kim, you really do sound angry. What's going on here? Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine. Fucking A, Kim. I've got your back. Yeah, fucking A, Kim. I've got your back.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
Okay, hold on a second. Just 1 second. There might be a setting issue So I'm going to figure this out. Make sure that we are, in fact, on the classic, the classic setting here. I don't want to show anything accidentally. So we're going to just make sure the options are set. The voiceover mode is in classic, streamer mode is on. Yeah, okay, fine. That's very weird that the narration is happening so much. Maybe it's just this person, you know? Maybe it's just this person, and his dialogue is so important to the plot of the story that he needs to be voiced. Yeah. Lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness. Now that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
Why'd you say officers like that? He waits impassively, cigarette smoldering between his fingers. What was that argument all about? Yeah, what was that argument all about? It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. He spits on the ground. You're spitting on the ground a lot. Do you have rabies? Are you foaming at the mouth? Not the most popular topic nowadays with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. Change the topic? The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat. I get it. Someone has to be the unpopular guy. Oh, so you're just a racist. That makes sense. To be honest, I can't really remember what that means. Please explain. People who have studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. I don't spit on the floor like you do. I have manners, thank you. He glances at the lieutenant. So naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. I do like being in charge, but I don't see how that's related. Yes, I can really tell you're a prime example of superior design. You look like a rat. You look like a rat that's balding and walks on two legs. Yeah. Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe. When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. Ooh. That reminds me of the Mouse Utopia experiments with the... what was it called? The Beautiful Ones? And Universe... some number? Oh, what was the name of that person? I don't know. Anyway, they set up these rat utopias, which were just isolated, controlled systems where all of the rats' needs were taken care of. And they did stop competing. They got very violent. They lazed around all day. They didn't even feel like reproducing, like normal rats would. Like, the lack of competition for resources pretty much upended society. I'm not saying this guy is right, but he is a rat. Going to bed soon? Oh yeah, thank you for stopping in, Pafu. It's good to see you. We're just talking about this rat man who evolved from a rat utopia. His philosophy is very in line with the rat utopia experiments. Okay, and? This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately, same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species, too. He throws a sharp glance at Lieutenant Kitsuragi. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. And what is the cultural victory here? What happens when these other races seem to have a victory in culture? It's what the kids of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too on the radio. Heard any Johnsons lately? Heard any Motetos or Leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. Uh-huh. I don't know what any of these words mean. It's true, he pushes on. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new subrace with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Oh, you're not just a racist, you're a eugenicist too. Oh, that's fun. Yes. Yeah, I think I can get down with this race. No. I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself? Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself? Don't push your luck, Runt. The man gives you a disgusted look, then turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence. Kim, what were we even doing here with this racist? Do we have to interview him? I think we do.
Looking for something, Runt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
I wouldn't mind. You can go fuck yourself, how about that? What are you hauling? Not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. Yeah, what kind of cargo are you picking up? Is it drugs? Is it raw ingredients for drugs? Why'd you kill the man in the tree behind the whirling in rags? Apples. Apples. Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions? He's giving you the runaround. Let's be honest. You were bested. I wasn't bested by anyone, Rhetoric. You can't tell me what I'm bested by. I know myself the best. You're a lorryman, right? What's your stance on drugs? Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. He takes a long drag on his cigarette. Of course. Why wouldn't you be a hypocrite as well as a eugenicist and a racist? It makes perfect sense. Why not? You know where that shit comes from? Sierra Marisa, Safra, Ilamara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. And the cigarette that you're smoking does not come from elsewhere? They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage. Racial economic sabotage. Ciggies are not a drug? Oh. You know, it's really interesting how there are certain culturally acceptable drugs, right? Things like tobacco and alcohol, and even caffeine. So nicotine, alcohol, and caffeine are all socially acceptable drugs where, so long as you don't, like, overdo it in public, no one actually cares that you're using these drugs recreationally. I would know on all of them. Fun fact, I am currently drinking coffee wine that I made myself from fermenting coffee. I feel like that's the best way. Stimulant plus depressant gets you in the mood for disco. Socially acceptable drugs are pretty fun. Yes and no. Like, there is something to be said about how socially acceptable drugs are a part of all, like, not just our cultural history, but also our evolutionary history. If you think about it, nothing has been with humans longer than alcohol. Alcohol and civilization go hand in hand. I know. Alcohol seems like such a destructive thing, and it is, when it's abused and misused, when it's overindulged in. But there's a reason why pyramid workers were paid with bread and beer. Beer, especially, being so high in carbs and more easily digestible sugars than something like a bread, would have been very nutritious, very nutritive, very nourishing, high in calories, basically. So, really, the problem is, I don't think alcohol so much as lifestyle and overindulgence. I think alcohol is something that we've evolved with for thousands and thousands of years of societies. And there are not just, like, evolutionary advantages to consuming alcohol, I think. Okay, the science on that's inconclusive. I know recent research says that any alcohol is bad for you, but when I was growing up, a little bit of alcohol was good for you. And I still think it is. Not physically. Physically, it's a poison, and you probably shouldn't be drinking any alcohol. But mentally, I think it's a particularly powerful anti-stressing agent, right? So consuming alcohol will reduce your stress levels. And I don't think anything is more harmful physiologically than being stressed continuously. Growing up, secret to living long with a glass of wine a day. Yeah, that's exactly what I try to do. I don't drink a glass every day, or at least I haven't for a while. But yeah. I Here's the thing about addiction, right? Uh, I don't really see eye to eye with people in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I like what they try to do, but their program seems fundamentally flawed to me. I don't like it works, and I won't say it won't work for certain people, but to me, I don't think you're mastering your substance abuse if you're just avoiding it. That's like throwing something under the rug and saying it's not there. Instead, I think you have to face your addictions every single day. And if you deny your addictions, obviously I'm not talking about hard drugs here. I'm not talking about, like, the hard narcotics. Those go cold turkey. They will ruin your life. But things like caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, I think if in moderation, you can master the subtle art of not overindulging. Yeah, that is very unfortunate, Pafu. People who go into AA often relapse. Relapses are common with all addictions, though, you know? Like, I've quit smoking tobacco, I should be clear. I've quit smoking tobacco at least 2 or 3 times in my life. Oops. Here I am talking about addictions. But, yeah, I've relapsed every single time after about 6 months. That's fairly common with tobacco use, I think, yeah. If you look at the research, 6 months of being clean from tobacco use is pretty common before the relapse. I don't know what the common relapse times for alcohol or anything else are. It's never really been important to me. Yeah. But it's really tough. And I won't say that my thoughts are the only thoughts out there. They're not the thoughts that I think are the best for everyone. They're just what I particularly believe is true for myself. That I couldn't master something like an addiction by avoiding the addictive chemicals. Yeah. So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinez. Listen, I agree, it's our responsibility to keep this poison off the streets of Revachol, right? So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinez?
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
I see. So you're telling us you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B?
I don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
He puffs on his cigarette. Then what are you still hanging around here for? We already know that. They're here because Joyce set up a trap, and now the lorries can't go in or out.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
Lovely analogy. Do you happen to know who is smuggling drugs? I'm a police officer, by the way. I should be investigating things.
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Seleng, that beady-eyed South Samaran.
He spits on the ground. That's the 3rd time you spit on the ground. Are you okay, sir? Has the smoking caused you to salivate unnecessarily? Uncontrollably, perhaps? Or are you actually a rabid animal? Like, I know rats tend not to get rabies, but bats do. And bats are just flying rats. So maybe you're more bat-like than rat-like.
His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Who's that?
He's the Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer's stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on the Humanox lorry.
Where do I find him?
Just follow the smell. It smells like apricots and oil when you're nearby.
The lorryman lets out a raspy croak at his own sense of humor. Is that funny? Apricots and oil? I like apricots. What's wrong with apricots? Yes, yes. Where is he?
Looks like I offended your partner there.
If you cared about offending my partner, you wouldn't have been racist towards him.
He doesn't look at the lieutenant. Too bad. Sileng's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him, just watch yourselves. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood.
He nods in a sagely manner, then another puff of that cigarette.
He's your man, all right. 100%.
I wouldn't be so sure about it, not until we've heard what Sileng himself has to say. Well, I guess we need to pay Sileng a visit then.
Guess so,
He grins, contented with himself. We're done for now. I don't like that guy. Can I arrest him just because I don't like him? What do we have here? Street sign? Pigs go home. The street name is illegible. Fantastic, sure. Fine, whatever. You there, ma'am. Who are you?
The RCM in Martinez.
The
What
young woman.
can I help you with?
Okay, sure. I wish there were a mode where, people would just talk the whole time or wouldn't. Yeah, that's a shame. Yes, you sound surprised. Do the RCM not come here often?
We don't see a lot of police around here. That's all.
I see. Yes, that would make sense with the body hanging in a tree for over a week. I have some questions for you.
Of course. What can I help you with?
We don't need directions. Who are you exactly? Me? I'm just a gardener. Cool. And what are you doing here? I'm working. You don't look like you're working. You look like you're sitting down on a street. What are you working on? I have a greenhouse in the yard there. She gestures over her shoulder. I've been trying to get some work done. There's discomfort. She stops mid-sentence. But there's a body in a tree? Well, as you probably know, there's a corpse hanging from it. Yeah, I figured. From a tree there. It smells pretty bad, so I have to take breaks. Don't worry, miss. We're here to clean it up. You can get to work soon. Kim, don't make promises we can't keep. Thank you. She smiles politely. My head is about to explode from all the salts I've had to inhale. Yeah, okay, that's fine, but we need directions. Of course. Where to? The corpse. Where is the corpse, ma'am? It's there, she points north. In the yard, right through the hole in the fence. I see. And where am I? What do you mean? Just tell me where I am, okay? We're in Martinez, sir. She looks around. The intersection is called Roundabout North, I think. Really? Because it said Pigs Go Home. Is this not Pigs Go Home Street? That's all for now, thank you. No problem, she nods, brushing a fleck of soil off her cheek. I have to run. Of course, I won't hold you back. She wipes her brow with a canary yellow glove. For gloves, you get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all. One more thing, ma'am. Can I borrow your gloves? Sure, keep them. I have another pair. She hands you the rubber gloves with no visible annoyance. Thank you, ma'am. You've been of great assistance to the RCM, which I am apparently a part of despite being pantsless. Can I wear those? Yes, I can wear those. What do those do? Interfacing? Bye-bye bugs, yes. Put those on. Oh yeah, that's stylish. We're gonna go talk to, Lena, I think it is, yeah? The one over here in the corner of the cafeteria. Oh, being in here just reminds me of what we did last stream with Guard. And I don't like being reminded of what we did with Guard. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sweetie.
The elderly woman turns to you with a smile. Wait, who's Sweetie? Who is Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer.
I'm no Sweetie. Look at me.
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
You know too much about me, Lena. Dimple or not, I'm a bitter man. The years have taken their toll.
Take heart, officer. You're still a man in your prime.
I wish that were true,
You
Lena.
must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
She slaps herself on the forehead.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling. This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I'll say it. You seem to be in a chair, ma'am. Yes, dear, I'm a paraplegic. And what is a paraplegic? It means I can't use my legs. I was in an accident some years back, injured, in the line of duty, as they say. Were you a tightrope walker? Nothing so extravagant, dear. Though that young girl doesn't dream of soaring over a crowd. How surprising, I wasn't sure I'd see you today. Really, Diana? Where else would I be? It's Sunday. Yes. A lot of bad weather today. I'll tell you what, the sky around here looked very strange during sunset. But other than that... Out of the way, please, cricket. Yes, the crickets are back. Other than that, the weather was actually quite clear. I had bad weather yesterday. So, lucky me. Yeah. Nothing so extravagant, dear. Though that young... What? Nah. The what? Yeah. Do over. The what young girl doesn't dream of soaring over a crowd. What did you do then, miss? I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You hurt yourself in a mail-order shoe company. No, I didn't say... I didn't fail. Okay, I'll explain what happened last week first, okay? So last week, apparently what happened was that I did save, but the save would not go through because I did not have enough save slots open. I just tongue-tied tonight, very much so. It's gonna get worse. So yeah, that's why we didn't have a save last week. We are on the save from our last week's stream today. I'm just back in the cafeteria because okay, I'll admit it. I cheated a little bit. Yeah. I looked up what I needed to do for a certain thought. So we're gonna get that thought, and we're gonna go back to Joyce, and then we'll continue on with the game, okay? Okay. Tell me about the shoe company. You think it'd be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. Oh yeah, OSHA violations, right? I was lucky. This is almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. She runs her hands over the chrome wheels of her chair. Kim, I hope you stop me from doing this. But if you don't... could I become a paraplegic? I hope not, although the work you're doing for all of us is quite dangerous. Her eyes glimmer with admiration as she looks up at you. This sweet old woman. There is no one kinder in this game. Kim is perhaps more patient, but no one in this game is kinder than Lena. Towering over her in your insignia, you make her feel safe. Someone has to do it, ma'am. But not you. You're volunteering, so thank you, sweetie. So you volunteered sometime in the past, for the beatdown and the hail of bullets? So very you. Thanks for clearing that up for me. I'm not gonna say sorry here. Like, I am an amnesiac. I have no common sense. So, even if I as a player know that that was probably a faux pas, our character here, Raphael, has no idea. He has the innocence of a child. So, I'm just going to say thank you for clearing that up. Yeah. No problem. She nods, smiling up at you from behind her glasses. There's no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago. How'd you like to roll with me? Phrasing? How would you like to roll with me, though? Her eyes lit up. Whatever do you mean? I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers. Sequence killers? Oh my, she sounds impressed. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie. You mean Kim? He doesn't have a wheelchair. A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. Kim, of course. I forgot I had you. I know, but there are also side mysteries. Sequence killers and forays into the paranatural. Ooh, I like the paranatural. I like the sounds of that. I'm really big onto cryptids and folklore. Especially of the American Northwest. Basically forest-dwelling creatures. Also the Fae. Yeah, the Fae are pretty interesting too. It's really interesting, right? Like, there is a bunch of Fae culture here on the East Coast, because a lot of the immigrants who migrated here, or I guess it would be emigrated here, would have been Irish or Scottish in origins. So that there are these populations with superstitions, which are near mirrors for populations in places like Ireland and Scotland. A lot of Celtic influences here on the East Coast, so long as you go deep enough into the woods. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez. Kim, you can't make a promise like that. Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. She turns to you. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Why? 3 heads are better than 2. Thank you, but... She looks out the window wistfully. Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Always thinking of others, Lena. Such a sweetheart. Perhaps another time, she turns back to you with a hopeful glint in her eyes. Of course! I don't know if you've noticed, though, but I don't know where I am, or what I'm doing, or anything. Yes, officer, you look rather dazed, like a stunned fox. Surely things can't be that bad. Her eyes follow your movements with some concern. I assure you, Lena, as much as Kim can't make the promises that he's made, I can make the promise I just said. I promise you, I am very confused, and I know absolutely nothing. She won't judge you, no matter what you say. I drank so hard I forgot literally everything. I don't know if the drinking did it. But you know what? Sure. I drank so hard I forgot literally everything. Oh my. Takes a moment to process. You know where we are, right? A war zone at the edge of the world. It does still look like that in some parts of the city, doesn't it? We're in a hostel called the Whirlin Rags, dear, and the Whirlin itself is in the city of Revachol. Honestly, I don't know diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place is this, other than a war zone? How would I even begin to tell you? Her grey eyes widen. Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. The city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yeah? We're approaching the end times, ma'am. The final years. Perhaps, dear, perhaps. But for now, it's just the spring of 51. She's perturbed by your not knowing what year it is, but not by your mention of the apocalypse. It must be the end times. Personally, I believe we're already in hell. I believe I said that already to the racist lorryman, but it does feel like we're in hell, not limbo. Coffee wine. Delicious. Bitter. Very dry. Tastes awful. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind, we're in this now. Thank you, Kim. I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Coffee wine? That's right, Diana. I am very big on home brewing. Basically what I did was I made coffee, I added sugar, and then I added yeast. And I fermented that. So it is wine made from coffee. Yeah. I wouldn't call it beer because there aren't any grains or anything. It's definitely wine. Like, I'm not the only person crazy enough to make coffee wine. I'm probably the only person crazy enough to regularly drink it. Stimulants plus depressants are not great, especially if you have heart conditions. So do be careful with that. Doesn't sound like a good idea? It's no worse than Four Loko. And the FDA, the FDA did say stuff about Four Loko, didn't they? No, it's fine. All things in moderations, right? Definitely. Oh wow, there are a lot of options here. Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perception of reality, concealing our true masters. Foreigners and women. I have to pick it. Oh no, nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control, led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no matriarchy. She's trying to avoid the foreigners part. This is because she's a woman. She may be lying to you. See, I'm glad we put a point into endurance earlier today. If we hadn't put a point in endurance, we wouldn't have picked up on that, right? I'm so glad we have all these different facets of myself to rely on when I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed. It is quite disappointing, dear. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now the RCM is all we've got. Okay, but if there's no government, how come cops? Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. We should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone. She's scared now. She realized you really are brain damaged. Hey, that hurts. My brain might be perfectly fine, right? Like, this might be a mental block. Who could tell me more? Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask. She turns to the lieutenant. No. He looks away. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective. Of course, she turns to you. And I don't know, someone rich maybe? Wealthy people are educated. I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez. I do! I've got to get going, but thank you for your help, Lena. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case. She gives you a small wave. Come on, Kim. We're going to talk to Joyce again. Oh, if the autosave lets me. Oh, Kim, don't phase through walls like that. That's very disorienting for me. Not great. Yeah, so I may have cheated a little bit, and I may have looked up how to get a specific thought. But I really need that thought. Like, I'm going to have such a hard time with this game if I don't get that thought, that it needs to happen. I've only played this game once before, and it was thoroughly mind-blowing, and I'm still seeing things that I've never seen before. So I really need to maximize my experience. Hey, Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke with the lorryman about the roundabout. On the contrary, officer, she smiles. There are yet camioneers you have not talked to. And don't look surprised. In a time like this, it would be strange if Wild Pines didn't have eyes on the harbor. I talked to 3 lorrymen. How many more are there? I suggest you go back and canvass for more suspects. Oh. You want me to talk to, Su Lang, or whatever his name was? Okay, fine. I'll do that. He seems smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality thing that we happen to be in. This reality? She pulls her hood closer around her neck. Yeah, it's related to that medical episode my partner was talking about. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality. Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it. I know some of those words, yes. She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you. Don't be fazed, madam. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality. We may be here a while then. She takes a long sip of tea. You put that down. Why are you picking it back up? Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can. Alright, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly. Where are we? We're in Martinez, baby. Baby? I thought I was sweetie. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover. Pay it no heed. I'm a disco holdover myself, baby. Ah, she smiles. Aren't we all? Mm-hmm. And what is Martinez? Martinez is a district of Raphael. She looks around, her green raincoat flapping in the wind. A small district tucked away near the industrial harbor, north of the 881 in Jamrock. I see that I'm having hiccups with my ISP again. Great. I haven't been for a while. And, oh, you know what it is? I messed with some settings today to increase the, quality of the output. I don't know if that's actually going through, but you should be able to get this in 1080p with 30 frames per second. That's okay, right? Like, the human eye, yeah, I was stuttering a bit. I figured that might happen. I've done this now and then, where I go back between 720 and 1080p, and yeah. Sometimes I can get away with 1080p. I can't do anything now that the stream is live, though. But I will keep this in mind for the next stream. I do apologize for the stuttering. Yeah. I will remind you, this is the best internet service provider in my area. The infrastructure is just so god-awful. Yeah. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the revolution. She shrugs. It has its charms, just not this time of year. You mentioned a sea. What sea is this? It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Raphael, and the bay feeds into the ocean. Are we near the ocean? Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic. Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable. Flowing in and out of sight. What's the name of the island? Kailou? Kailou? Kailou. She looks to the waters. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst the grey blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks of the river Esperance. We're in the delta of the river, on the 6th branch in Martinez Distributary. There it goes again. Yeah, next week we're gonna be doing 720 again, unless I do a Zatsudan stream. I know I haven't done a Zatsudan stream in a while. I've been very busy as of late. In fact, I got a jury summons the other day, like yesterday. And yeah, fantastic stuff. Oh, I had a dentist appointment as well. And I got to my dentist and I sat in the waiting room for 30 minutes after checking into reception. And then I was called over to reception. Oof. Oof, yeah. Oof. Very much oof. I'm gonna get dismissed anyway. No sane person would put me on a jury. Whether for the defense or prosecution, no sane person would do it. Oh, it's probably criminal. Yeah. Which, for reasons I will not get into, are extra likely to get me dismissed. As far as I know, there are 8 cases on the docket that day. So, yeah, I'm gonna be there for a while. I'm gonna get dismissed, but I'll be there for a while. And I'll get my, like, $8. My $8 of compensation for wasting one of my days. Oh, right, I went to the dentist, and I was waiting in reception for like 30 minutes before I get called over, and they tell me, no, sorry, we actually canceled your appointment. And I know you checked in, And I saw you sign in and everything. And I've seen you sitting there for 30 minutes. But yeah, you can go now. So my week has been, a little bit chaotic, yeah? Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city. And what is a city, Joyce? The great kind. As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact. And what makes Revachol great? History, detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. Was a city built on rock and roll? Who built it? The nations of the Occident. Or migrant workers from Semenine and Illimara, depending on your creed. And when was Revachol built? In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago. I see. And why will it resolve history? They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. I like fault lines. I do like fault lines. I prefer joins. That sucks. My week was mostly errands and studying. Ooh, that also sucks. Oh yeah. Tornadoes are not great either. Lost power for a while. I mean, I'm glad that you have power now. That sounds awful, you know? It just sounds like an awful time. I'm glad I live in an area where there's enough topography to break up any kind of storms which would cause tornadoes. They're very rare here. Yeah. A mile away? Oof. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're okay. And I'm glad you have your power back. Like, I know errands and studying aren't the best of things, but there's such mundane things that they can be comforting. Especially when you're considering things like tornadoes being a mile away. Yeah. I'm just really glad that you're okay, you know? Yeah. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. Why here, though? We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulantic Ocean. The world's connective tissue. She smiles. It's where the money is. Never been through a tornado before? Oh, scary. Luckily no damage. I'm glad there was no damage. They are scary. I've, gone through tornadoes before. Not here. Back when I was living in, West Texas for in my employment, there's a bunch of nothing around, right? And the winds can just do whatever they want. And tornadoes are fairly common, although hurricanes are probably more common. It's very scary. Especially when you don't have, like, any protective shelter. And you're just out in the middle of this plain of desert. Oh yeah, I can imagine it being very scary. I am sorry you went through that. I'm glad that there was no damage in the immediate area, or to your stuff either. Yeah. It's very scary seeing the debris picked up by the winds, and how they can throw things through windows and shatter glass. It's not ideal. And that's just the tornado itself, right? Those storm cells can also generate things like hail, and yeah. When I saw one tornado going through, it was also a hailing. The hail was the size of small golf balls. A lot of people had their cars dented that day. Just no cover. It can be very scary, right? Like, weather is no joke. Mother Nature is terrifying. So we're in an unimportant part of an important place. So we're on the periphery, basically nobody's. Speak for yourself, officer. I'm well known in certain parts as the place you're right. We are. She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise. 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the Bank of the World building. Bottom floors are Intercom, Coalition Government, Insul Indian Mission Command. Look to the sea. Silence. She lowers her hand. The water. The light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea. and the cold radiating from it. Where are we? Oh, there we go! Where we are? I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately. She watches you closely as you scan the horizon. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you? Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown. This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask. He turns to you. About even the most fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am Messier will be here later too. And tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am? You're not going out of town, are you? Absolutely. My commitment here is a long term. But I want to know everything now, Kim. I want to know. That's understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all of your candy at once. Kim, you're a spoilsport. What if I want to eat all my candy at once? What if I got back from Halloween and I just want to shove my face into my basket of candy? Can't I do that, Kim? I'm an adult. I have that right. Indeed, I'm always at your service. Oh. Ooh. Conceptualization. Oof, that's painful. Let's see if we can do this one. What is think of something close to you? Oh, we did! Ooh! 42%. 6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog, licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner Emil Mullins whispers, "You heard what happened to... Oh? Who's Tequila Sunset? You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, finger on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." Pulls on it slowly. Slowly now. "He'll find it again. We always do." What am I? You? You're an officer of the RCM, she says energetically. This abbreviation, what does it stand for? It stands for the Revachol Citizens Militia. Good. And what is the Revachol Citizens Militia? Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol detective. Those are a lot of big words, Joyce. Can you simplify it for me? Yes, Lieutenant steps in to make a gesture encompassing you both. We are the Revachol Citizens Militia. You said de facto. That means, not actually, right? Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. I guess that's it for the who I am part then. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help. She bows and smiles. She's a nice lady. Like, I don't know what Cindy was saying last week, but this lady is very nice. Let's try the conceptualization, and then we'll come back later. Failure. A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop. Oh, the waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of yours, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete. Oh, I see. That's all for now, Joyce. Thank you very much, ma'am. Glad to have been of assistance. Little did I know. Anything else? No, that's it for now, thank you. Reminds me of post-hippie yuppie, but still very in touch with the hippie. Ah, yes. Cantrip 7. Yes, yes, yes. Cantrip. Back at it. Good to see you. Yeah. Have you played this game before, Cantrip? I don't want to spoil it if you don't know too much about her. But, yeah. We're gonna internalize this thought. Hippie isn't wrong, necessarily. Let's see, yeah, that's good. I think that's right. Did we do that right? I never internalize thoughts in this game. I say as I've just admitted to I've only played it once. But yeah, the thoughts are actually very important, and that thought in particular is probably... I do not like this topography here. Yeah, we're fine. Played it before, but I played it in a crazy binge, so some of the details are hazy. Absolutely love the game though. Ah, I see. So you have some familiarity with it. It's quite possible that you played as a different archetype, and you may have gotten different responses. I don't know how it works. I've only ever played sensitive. We want to talk to Slang. She is very much what this game would consider to be a hippie. Except... Oh. Kim, did you see that? I had a thought bubble. Kim. I have a thought bubble. A sewer grate. A gateway to the river filth. What a fantastic thought. Very helpful. You there, sir. Are you Slang? So yeah, she should come off as slightly hippie-ish, but also slightly yuppie. It's interesting that you bring the attention to both the hippies and the yuppies, because a lot of hippies actually became yuppies in the 80s. It's kind of funny. I guess it's hip to be square, huh? I do love Huey Lewis in the News. And that's not just an American Psycho reference. I do actually love Huey Lewis in the News. One of my favorite bands. You see a Sumerian street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Salang is embroidered over his breast pocket. There's the man we're looking for.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here.
He gives you a thumbs up. What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
Am I cool? From out on the bay, a cool wind gathers. It sweeps into the city, tugging at the textiles hanging around the stand. Some distance away, the sound of a tin can clattering across the street can be heard.
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
Bang, 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 bang! He makes both hands into finger pistols and fires a few finger bullets into the air. I'm glad you said that. I like this guy. Played 5 blue and 5 yellow? Ah, yes. I think that's the thinker archetype. Well, I don't know if it's an archetype. Maybe you just customized it. But those are like thinker skills, and definitely not feeling. I was recommended to do a sensitive playthrough, and that's what I did with my first playthrough. And I loved it so much that I figured I would stream at least some of a sensitive playthrough. Because this game... Can I be real with you for a second here? Like all characterization aside, this game actually made me feel things. Which is why we have the title of the stream as it is. I'm gonna feel pain today if I make it through the entire day. The first dream sequence, it really hit like a brick. And yeah, I can really identify with some of the things that Raphael here is going through. So, I love this game. I didn't realize how much I would. I was recommended it many times before, and it wasn't until recently that I actually sat down and played it. I highly recommend the sensitive playthrough, especially with the horrific necktie. Or just a high inland empire run, I guess. Really? You think I'm cool?
Oh, yes! You got style. You got personal style. You know what you like.
He surveys his consumerist kingdom with an air of satisfaction. Are you just saying that because I don't have pants on?
You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
He settles back into the pile of boxes he's sitting on. It's true. If you look at advertising surveys, they pick male models and female models, and it really doesn't matter what they put on them. People routinely rate the clothing as higher quality when someone attractive is wearing it. It's true. Played through the game while having chest pains? Oh. It is lucky that was muscular in nature. Yeah, freaky that the MC was having similar stress. I can see how that would be bad, yeah. Depending on how you do with the necktie, you can actually end up having a heart attack. As Raphael here, right? Ah, wow. Having chest pains while doing that would not be fun. Yeah. In my first playthrough, I could not grab the necktie for like 3 days. Because I failed every single attempt despite having a high inland empire. And I ended up suffering from a heart attack. It was kind of a lot of fun, because I got to play around with other calls to places that we didn't get to do in this playthrough. But I can understand. This game seems to be one of those games that really connects with a lot of people. And it's not just the themes, but the specifics of certain events seem to connect so well to people. It's a very human game. If I had to pick a piece of media to represent humanity as a whole, made in this century, this might be it, right? Like, a lot of people might pick a movie or a television show. No. Nothing represents humanity better than this game, in my opinion. Yeah. He settles back into the pile of boxes he's sitting on. Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions! Rhetoric? No. We don't have enough rhetoric. I feel similarly. I'm glad. It's a fantastic game. Oh, you know? I was looking into it, and there was a sequel that was supposed to happen, and it's never gonna happen now, right? Like, the original developers of this game got kind of kicked out, and now the studio that was this studio has entirely new staff. So if there's ever a sequel to Disco Elysium, it's not gonna have the same feel, I don't think. Yellow Blue is definitely quite analytical. Oh, you can't? Okay. I've not played it, so... I don't know. I've not played anything other than sensitive archetypes, so please do forgive me my my error there. Yeah. Animal fear. I guess that's true. When it comes down to it, there's nothing quite as rational as the self-preservation instinct. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more rational than that. Sad stories with the developers. Yeah, it really was. I was looking forward to it because I thought, oh gee, it's been so long since this game came out, and I'm finally getting to play it, and I enjoyed it so much. I wonder if they're going to make a sequel. This world is so expansive, and there's so much that I didn't get to learn about. And there are so many mysteries still left. And there are so many avenues for quote-unquote paranatural phenomenon that we just will never get to see now. It's very sad. Like, a lot of this game seemed like it was teasing such a large world. It feels lived in. It feels bigger than it is. Like, you're stuck in this city, and that's it. But there's so much more than just this city. You get very brief glances of elsewhere. Places like Jamrock, through Shivers. But that's it. You never actually get to go outside of this one city. It's quite sad. So where are you from, Selang? Me, it's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol. Better not to mention. Sounds good. Let's get back to business then. Hi, good evening. Hi, Storm. Good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you, Storm. We're still going with, Disco Elysium. It's been a strange night, I'll tell you that much. So, Seling, what are your stance on drugs? Drugs? For a moment, he's unsure how to respond. I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Super impressed by most of the lore. Yeah, twist on world history. That's what I was thinking at first. Like an alternative history. Yeah, fantasized elements for sure. Like the Kanema. When I first saw the Kanema, I was like, okay, history is all messed up. Time is being jumbled together. Inventions are all out of sync. It is subtly... It just... When I started learning about the Pale, I think I realized that this isn't an alternative history. This is an entirely different world and series of worlds, parallel worlds in conjunction, right? I don't want to get too much into it, but it is a lot bigger than it seems. And it's very fascinating. I thought for sure we were in some kind of time slip, alternate history, where time was getting all jumbled up, and I'm still not certain that we're not. If you look into the lore of the Pale, for example, time breaks down in the Pale. So maybe time broke down in what is in the Pale. Seems to be the case if you go to the church as well. Let's not get into that. Let's save that for later if I do stream it. I don't know if I'm gonna play a full playthrough on the streams, but it's true. It's a fascinating world. It's very... I heard the original developer spent like a decade working on this world, and it really feels like he did. Yeah, the original, I don't know if he was the developer, something. Yeah, the original creator. It feels like a lived-in world. Unless you're into drugs, of course, in which case drugs are excellent. He kisses his fingers. Tasty, tasty drugs. I am super into drugs, apparently. That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home. Or on my person, he smiles. I actually don't like drugs. That's cool, especially after you already said you're into them. All the coolest detectives in the movies do drugs and are very conflicted about it. Still, no drugs here, he smiles. I really love the writing in this game. Like, it feels like choices matter. Yeah, laughing your ass off. It's true, unlike Fallout 4, this game, the choices actually matter, and I love it. The amount of effort that went into the writing in this game, just out of this world. I don't think we're all... Yeah, I really don't think we'll ever see another game quite like this one. Dialogue sending you. The dialogue is fantastic. If you've never played this game, I do recommend it. And I do not say that lightly. I'll give you cigarette ratings, and this is a 5 out of 5. We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this traffic jam. That's even cooler! You're investigating that and all. But, he points to the goods, I'm not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that. But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry. Who said that? It's a fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater. So you admit you're a lorry driver? No, I just said I work harder, and he's an asshole. He stops to think. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. He spreads his arm. So you forgot to tell me. It's okay if you did. Like, I've been forgetting things all day. Exactly. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rearview mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole. With ingenuity. Sling, my source tells me you're the one transporting drugs for the Union. No, that's insane. It's the fat hater. He's been eyeing me for a week and he sent you here. Maybe he's the one, huh? Have you thought about that? I actually did, and I wouldn't mind arresting him for it even if he's not. Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation at the harbor? Nothing, I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd. And what crowd is that? crowd, you know? The drug crowd. He doesn't want to talk about them. He's afraid. Who are you afraid of, Seling? Look, he looks around and lowers his voice. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up. You don't want to get into this mess. You have to give us a reason to move on. It's a she, okay? He whispers. The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, he shakes his head. She's no lady. Who are these other drivers who talk? All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now. Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos? He points north. All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos. Is the lady driver the old woman back there? No, I kinda doubt it. Point to the pale driver. Dazed out, strange? I don't know, maybe? If she is, I haven't gotten near her. I don't get involved, I told you. Could be. She was strange. Just because you're strange doesn't mean that, you're dealing in drugs. We're cool now, Seling. Thank you for your assistance. Alright, he snaps back to his usual self. Ice cold! Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detectives. Both of you. You deserve it. Let's try. No need to dress this one up, just tell him that you want. You, I want your money. Now. Oh, okay. Seling stops, his face suddenly serious. But why, officer? Because I am corrupt? I don't know, it's just the only thing I could come up with in my head to ask you. I need to get money somehow. Ah, yes. Money is very important, the street vendor nods, dead serious. Are you trying to ask for a bribe? If so, you're not doing a very good job, he looks at the vendor. Don't tell him that, Kim. I'm trying my best here. Sorry, detective. The man grins as if the entire incident is already forgotten. I'll look around. Thanks, Seling. What do you have here, Seling? You have goods? Oh. Going through chocolate pudding. I feel like I'm going through Bill Cosby's chocolate pudding. I should not have said that. There are clothes inside, cheap secondhand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
No, Slang. That is not what you say. You save the environment. Oh dear. Sorry, Diana. Sorry. Browse through the box. You find your hands deep in a tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. Fun fact, polyester is derived from oil. Most oil that is produced ends up in plastics. Or, yeah, I guess you could say most oil derivatives end up in plastics. Yeah, hydrocarbons are not just for fuel. The last game over. We're just gonna move on. Storm, don't pay attention to it. Economical, but also trendy, the street vendor shouts. Look firsthand, buy secondhand, keep the economy moving. Ooh. Find something worth salvaging. No? No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too loose around the waist. I gotta touch them. Are you one of those shoppers that touches everything in a store? Like, I'm not talking like when you go into a grocery store and you take a box off the shelf and you look at the nutrition label. Like, if you're doing that, good on you. You really should pay attention to nutrition labels. I'm talking about like touching every single box. I hate when that happens because it always makes me feel itchy, right? When I go to reach out for a box, I always think, how many people have touched this box before and put it back on the shelf? And I don't like it. Writers fear nothing, it seems. They really don't. If you weren't here for last week's storm, the writers do not have fear at all. Touch all the clothing? No, I get clothing, yes. But I assume, yes. I know people are sensitive to certain fabrics. Some people can't tolerate polyester, right? Polyester just does not breathe well. It's made of plastic after all. It should not be breathing well. But other people can't tolerate coarser fabrics like hemp or jute or whatever. That's not really what I'm talking about. I understand touching one of an item for a feel, or touching items to check for sizes. That's really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who has to touch every single shirt of the same type on a rack, or every single box of cereal on the same shelf. Like, you've seen one, they're not gonna be any different, you know? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I just hate getting behind those people, because I'm the type of shopper who knows exactly what they want, and other than checking nutritional labels, making sure that things are adequate for my diet, because if I do not measure it out, you know, bad things happen. I end up under eating or something. If that happens, you know, it happens. But yeah, I hate getting stuck behind people who are just touching every single can of the same item on a shelf. One should be sufficient. It's not like any other can's gonna be different, you know? Don't touch most items. I'm glad, yeah. Yeah. It's fine to be picky. It really is fine to be picky. Like, I get it with cabbages, I get it with produce. You don't want to buy one with a bad spot, so maybe you'll pick up every single fruit to get the best one. I get that. But I'm talking about like packaged goods where they're cans or in boxes, and the boxes and cans are exactly the same. What's the point? Why are you touching every single one of them? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a germaphobe and I don't want to admit it. I don't think I am. Never touch so many products? Just cough on everything. Exactly! Yeah, maybe I am just a germaphobe. You're both right. You're both right. Maybe I'm just a germaphobe. Maybe COVID messed with my brain a little more than it already had, and ingrained those thoughts in me. But for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I've just been overly conscious of the idea that so many hands have touched every good in a store. From the stock people to the delivery men, and then the customers themselves. It just makes me feel... I don't want to say icky, but icky is the right word. It makes me feel gross. It got so bad that whenever I go grocery shopping, the first thing I do when I get home is wash my hands. Just to make sure, you know, that I don't have anything on my hands. And then I put things away, and then I wash them again. Do I have OCD? Slightly. Mild OCD tendencies. But I'm not a germaphobe, so far as I know. It's not something that bothers you, but you do find it annoying. I'm glad it's somewhat relatable. Like, I know I'm probably extreme in how I feel about that, but it is something important to me. That, yeah, that there are all of these people just touching every single box. I don't know, like, eggs, I get it. Like, some eggs might be broken. Maybe you have to inspect every single egg. I like to open the box, the carton of eggs, every time I go shopping for eggs. I'll open it up, and I'll look at them. I'll make sure there aren't any cracked ones or broken ones. Because why not? Right? You're gonna buy it anyway. You wanna make sure you get enough eggs. If you pay for a dozen, you should get a dozen, not 11 and a cracked one. But anything else, I don't know. like canned goods and boxed goods especially. The turnover on those is insane for a grocery store. So much so that you don't have to worry about them being outdated. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. Maybe I'm a bit crazy about them. What are we talking about? Wool pants? We're gonna touch them. They itch like hell. Like an itch pit in hell. The itch is so bad you'll want to smash someone's face in. Can I buy those? All natural materials, see? The street vendor interrupts, guiding your hand over the fabric. Real wool, 100% skin friendly. And they're yours for only 2 real. I want them. I absolutely want them. 2 to half-light, -1 to composure, -1 to savoir-faire. They're gonna lower my charisma worse than the pants that I'm not wearing. Not necessarily if you buy niche products. Okay, that's true. I happen to live in a part of the country where things do not always have frequent deliveries, so that's fair. Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Some niche products, the turnover rate is so low that even in the culture that we are in America, where people throw away perfectly good food just because it's a day over the expiration date, there's so much food waste in America. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, okay, fair. You're absolutely right. There are some places in America where you do have to be careful with turnover, and you do have to be conscious of sell-by dates, use-by dates, those kind of things. Major chain store too. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I've noticed it more recently, the last 3 or 4 years, in fact. Stores have been not doing so well with their products. Global supply chains may have been impacted. I hate that word. I hate using that word like that. May have been affected by certain global circumstances a couple years back. And we're just now seeing some of the consequences of those global supply chain issues. And turnover is an issue. Sell-by dates are getting closer to the wire, even in major chain stores. It's true. I've noticed it. Like, what can you do? We came screeching to a halt globally. Our species as a global population just screeched to a halt. Stopped doing anything for a period of time. It's ridiculous to think that there wouldn't be consequences of that. It's amazing, in fact, that we've lasted so long without seeing consequences to that. Maybe I should stop talking. Yeah? Yeah, probably should stop talking. What do you have in this chest, Slang? Fallen sneakers on a pedestal of speakers. That's a tongue twister. You see 2 lowly defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of fallen durable wear sneakers. Ultra
I
Series.
can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Actually, I was looking at the speakers. These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable fallen ultras atop them. No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers, the man points at the footwear. The sneakers are the stars here. What about the speakers, though? Doesn't anyone want those poor speakers? These, officer? These speakers are Samar and garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them. Can't I just buy the sad conquered Samaran speakers? No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Lo-fi socialist junk. But I need some speakers. Well, if you want them, he pauses for a moment, calculating. But see, they're a pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? Can't leave my premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for a little extra. 50 cents. You're driving a hard bargain here, so long. I'll inspect the sneakers for you. A pair of Fallen Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway. Jet black upper and a silver-lined midsole. Those sneakers, mister, the street vendor intones. Those sneakers are the latest Fallen sneakers. Super rare, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real. I don't think I have 50 real. -1 encyclopedia? They're pretty good shoes, though. We'll come back to you. I will come back to that. What do you have here? Oh, crunchy. My audio just got crunchy there, and I could hear it in my own ear. I think that's probably me trying to stream at 1080p. So next week, we're going to reduce that again. There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer?
I do.
I've got the latest styles right here.
The vendor takes a pair of sunglasses and sticks them under your nose. I actually really do enjoy sunglasses. The problem is my face is, small. So I have to find small sunglasses. Anything else looks weird on my face. I can't wear aviators because they're too big. Another great thing about Disco Eluysium. Big readable font. Yeah. I'm happy for it. I used to play games on Switch through capture card through OBS, and it was just too small for me to read. Thankfully, I learned about projector mode. So now I have a projector and I can actually read things, assuming that my tongue works properly. Yeah. What was I talking about? Sunglasses. I did used to collect sunglasses. It was very hard to find sunglasses small enough to fit my face. Does that sound like a weird problem? Hide small face confirmed. Yeah, it's true. It's true though. Like, I've got a small face and a small head. I don't have that much brain space, you know? It explains a lot of things. But, I especially liked round sunglasses. Like, I really like round sunglasses. The hippie kind, and I have several pairs of those. In fact, I inherited a pair from my father, who existed during the hippie era. And, yeah, I like them all. They're fantastic. I love round sunglasses. They don't look good on my face. Square ones look much better. But I don't care. Round sunglasses it is. My face is too angular, okay? I'll admit it, my face is angular. It's not round enough for round sunglasses. I wish it were, but it doesn't look right. Any weird color tints? Oh, I like them mirrored. Most of my round sunglasses are in fact mirrored. So they're reflective more than anything. I prefer that, so people can't see my eyes. See, I have this weird thing where I don't like people seeing my eyes. It isn't... Okay, some people have social anxiety, right? And they don't like making eye contact. And that's cool. I get that. I perfectly understand that. It's perfectly valid. That's not my deal. It's not why I don't like people seeing my eyes. I just feel it's weird when people see my eyes, you know? I don't like it. It makes me feel strange. Not anxious. Well, maybe you'd call it social anxiety. I wouldn't. I wouldn't call it social anxiety, because it's not really being social. It's specifically people seeing my eyes. Seeing what I'm looking at. Maybe it's a human thing, and I'm just not human enough. Like, my emotionality isn't in check, and I'm always concerned that people will misjudge me based on my eyes. You know? Eyes are the window to the soul. And my eyes, I don't feel, portray my soul, as well as other people's eyes do. Exactly, Diana. It's intimate. It is kind of intimate, right? looking into someone's eyes is very intimate. It's a very close kind of connection. People aren't really what they are, right? I know that sounds weird, but let's go on a tangent here. People aren't really what their physical bodies are. People are, to me, the sum of their experiences and the derivative of those experiences, right? So, the people are inside of this flesh body, this flesh prison, and yeah, the eyes are the gateway to the inside. They show and reflect everything that's happening inside. So much of human communication, nonverbal human communication, is in fact through the eyes that I just always feel like hiding my eyes. Meat vessel? Yeah, I usually call it a flesh avatar, but meat vessel works all the same. Was I talking about sunglasses, right? Okay, try the shades on. Abort, these are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow. Damn, officer, you look like a mega secret spy. Very secret, the man nods eagerly. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents. They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes. No? The lieutenant gently removes the glasses from your face, setting you free again. You're definitely not buying those. Don't tell me what to do, Kim. I like those sunglasses. No, I can't. We can't walk around with you looking like this. His hand has already risen midair, but he stops. Kim, consider. My eyes are bloodshot and baggy. Okay, fine. Go ahead. If you want to look like a walking midlife crisis, then who am I to interfere? Kim, you don't have to call me out like that. Electrochemistry -1 to logic? Ooh, shades of self-destruction. No thank you. When I was younger, I had my hair over my eyes. Oh yeah. People kept psychoanalyzing me? Yeah. You know, when I was in... Should I say this? Is this gonna dox me? There's no chance that this will dox me. When I was in high school, I grew my hair very long. At one point, before high school, I used to have a lot of long hair as well. But in high school, I had a period of short hair, then I grew it again. And, I let it cover my eyes, right? Like, I'd grow it in, very long, and it went to, like, my chin, and it was all long all the way around. And I just let it down so that no one could see my face. And the principal of the school actually scolded me for it. He was like, no, you can't do this. Put your hair out of your face. People need to see. And I didn't get it, because I was perfectly fine in my studies, right? I could see just fine. But, other people wanted to see my face for some reason. I don't get it, you know? Kim has been okay with the vast majority. Yeah, this is his limit. Chintzy sunglasses, you know? He can't have me being a midlife crisis. I do have the dignity of the RCM on my shoulders, right? I am a police officer, and he seems, according to Esprit de Corps, to be someone who really cares about the RCM. So I understand that, like, maybe me not having pants would be a worse fashion crisis than, me wearing these sunglasses around as an RCM officer. But maybe he's one of those people who likes seeing the sincerity in other people's eyes, right? Like, being a police officer, you sometimes have to give people bad news, right? And eye contact is important for that. As much as I don't like eye contact, I understand the importance of eye contact, and I can use it effectively. Alright, Kim, if we can't wear those, let's rummage through the box. These are all boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap ceramic plastic, the kind of plastic that melts in the sun. These are all first-rate sunglasses, Amanda declares. Premium design, superb material, very cool, UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work. Oh, that's very low. Try again. Maybe you can find some interesting sunglasses in the box. Nope, no luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog. I like frogs on his bent cap. I really like frogs. Frogs are very cute, you know? Like, here's the thing about frogs. They're predators. If you look at a frog very carefully, you'll discover that they have all of the traits of your classic predator. Very, very large mouths, right? Very large mouths indicative of swallowing their prey pretty much whole. Frogs are cute, but you prefer lizards? Lizards are cute too. They're more sleek though, you know? I used to keep a pet anole. If you don't know what an anole is, an anole is a kind of small lizard. They're very cute. The females have these very pink cheeks, and I caught my own on vacation. Should I admit to this? I caught a wild anole while I was in the American South, East Coast South. They were just all over the place. And I caught one year when my family went on vacation. Just grabbed it off a tree. It wasn't even a tree, it was like a palm. And I decided to keep it as a pet. So I put it in a little terrarium. And when I got home, I bought myself a heating lamp and a glass aquarium, which I turned into a very habitable terrarium. And I would catch crickets and grasshoppers and all sorts of bugs for it to eat. And I really loved that thing. I managed to keep it alive for about a year and a half in the colder climate. And it was a very good time keeping that anole. She was very cute. And ever since then, I can't keep lizards anymore. Yeah. They're a lot of work. It was worth it. I do recommend keeping lizards if you like reptiles. They're very cute. You don't really get to hold them too much. They like to scurry around. And that always made me nervous. I did kind of feel bad that I kept it in a smaller enclosure than the freedom of the wild. Yeah, it's a wild animal kidnapped. Well, here's the thing. Like, they were selling anoles with hermit crabs where I was vacationing, right? Do you think those were wild, or do you think those were bred in captivity? They were absolutely wild anoles that they just caught off the trees. Just like the hermit crabs were absolutely wild hermit crabs that they just pulled out, you know? I know it was bad. I was a kid at the time, probably should have just left it be alone and allowed it to be eaten by a seagull or something. But it was very cute, you know? And, yeah. I agree with you. Lizards are cute. I like to think that I gave it a better life than it would have had it continued living in the wild. Okay? Like, I actually cared for the thing. I caught it fresh food. Always wanted a bearded dragon. They're very cute. Yeah, they are very cute. And, yeah, bearded dragons and geckos seem to be the entry level for reptiles. Forgive childhood. Thank you, Diana. Hi, Mog. Nice to see you. I'm not going to capture you and put you in a terrarium, okay, Mog? As far as scaled animals go, you are fine. You are safe. Although I did give it a heat lamp, okay? I gave it a heat lamp. I made sure the temperature and the humidity were perfect for anoles. Like, I actually cared for it. I know a lot of people who get pets don't care for things. And I'll admit, when I was a young Hyde, I captured frogs and toads, and I did not know how to care for them. Like, I'm talking about, like, 8-year-old Hyde. And they barely lasted a week, and I get that. That's not great. But it wasn't like a serial killer thing where you're torturing small animals. It was more like, you're very cute, and I'd like to keep you as a pet. I just don't know how. I woke up a bit early, so you caught my stream. Thank you for catching my stream, Mog. I am doing well. Been a bit busy as of late. Unfortunately, my schedule seems to be skewing later and later. And I'm being busier and busier as of late. But yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. Yeah. Definitely strange hours, I'll give you that. Right, we were talking about green frogs on the bent cat. Frogs are cute. Oh, this visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang bang! The street vendor makes a bang bang sound. And all for a mere 6 real. Kim, are firefights something we should be prepared for? I hope not, he says, looking up from his browsing. You don't like it? Sure, Squarejaw, no problem. Let's get you some real shades. I actually do want it. +1 perception? Absolutely. Look at that. That's glorious. We're gonna buy that. Sporty and practical, officer. Good choice. I agree. It's a great visor. It'll go great with our yellow gloves that we have on. What's the tank top do? +1 to physical instrument? We don't need physical instrument. Let's go with perception. Don't we look stylish? Like, you talk about fashion souls. You know, the developers didn't need to do this, right? They didn't need to make the overworld sprite of your character actually look like the items you equip. The fact that they did that at all is just extra work. And I appreciate it. Because if you look at it, it makes everything so much better, doesn't it? Like, beautiful. Absolutely. Majestic. Oh, frame rates. Autosave. Every time it autosaves, the frames just turn into jello. Maybe you should turn the autosave off. I would feel bad about turning the autosave off and then just having to repeat these streams again. How would you feel if I just streamed the first little bit of Disco Eluysium? Say the first 2 hours, over and over again, right? Okay, Joyce, I have completed your quest for you.
Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout. Word has traveled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. She smiles and explains. Wild Pines' eyes on the intersection, but not ears. It appears we're being monitored every step we take, colleague. Lieutenant shrugs. Did we have any other business here? No? Was that not it? Do we have more to do, Joyce? Who do you want me to talk to? That's what I thought you were doing. It's not a bit. I will admit, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray is my absolute favorite movie of all time. I know it's a strange movie to pick as a favorite, but I think the themes of self-betterment, the idea that a human can rise up from the lowest of low trash on the ground to something that's actually a respectable human being, is actually a rather redeeming and hopeful message, you know? Like, I understand if you don't like Bill Murray. A lot of people didn't like Bill Murray when he was in and yes, I will say Murray instead of Murray. A lot of people didn't like Bill Murray when he was on SNL initially. Saturday Night Live, that's where he got his start. But, when he started being more realistic, when he started being more of a human with his audience, he actually turned things around. Like, people didn't think he was funny. And I don't think he is. I think he's a human that happens to do funny things. There's a slight difference there. But Groundhog Day, he really showed how he could be both serious and funny. I don't think there are too many actors like that I currently know of. Bill Murray is a special breed of someone who can entertain while giving a serious message. He was the perfect choice for Phil Connors in Groundhog Day. And if you've never seen the movie Groundhog Day, I think it was made in 1993. I do recommend it. It's a bit of a niche topic, right? Like, any Americans will know what Groundhog's Day is, or Groundhog Day. But anyone outside of America will listen to that and say, what is Groundhog Day? I think Bill Murray is way funnier in drama. Yeah, he is funnier in drama than in sketch comedy. I don't think he's... Okay. Here's the thing with Bill Murray, right? Same with Robin Williams, huh? Yes. They're not really stand-up comedians. You're absolutely right. Robin Williams is great at improv. Bill Murray is great at improv. But the fact of the matter is, they need someone to bounce off of. I think they both, as comedians, worked better in groups, right? Like, Mork needed Mindy. That's a reference that no one's gonna get because I'm just showing my age again. Mork and Mindy was a sitcom with Robin Williams playing an alien that aged backwards. Mindy was a character on that sitcom. But yeah, they're both actors, or, well, they're comedians that either do need or did need someone to bounce off of. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Bill Murray and Robin Williams are cut of the same cloth. Now, you, Mr. Poet, I need to talk to you. We were talking about something.
Hello again, my man. What's on
Caught
your
it on
mind?
Nook at Night. You know, Nick at Night. Nickelodeon, they used to have some fantastic television, and they used to do live action. I used to watch a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on Nick at Night. Yeah. It was pretty much the only thing on during the day as well that I would enjoy. Nowadays, if you look at Will Smith, no one would ever think of Will Smith as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, let alone his rapper persona. Oh, sorry. Sorry, yes, Will Smith had a career as a rapper. Sorry, I was remembering his rap with Men in Black. I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as was probably obvious by my Rupert Grint video. Which, by the way, can I just stop for a second and talk about my Rupert Grint video? What should I say first about the Rupert Grint, how the Grint stole Grintsmith's video? It's not a real game. Rupert Grint, How the Grinch Stole Grintsmiths Part 2 is not a real game. The video itself is absolute insanity. Just me rambling on about things that didn't happen, things that don't exist, and things that aren't true. I loved that video. I absolutely loved making that video. But no one watched... well, okay, I can't say no one. But most people didn't watch past 30 seconds of that video to realize what exactly was going on with that punchline. They didn't see it. They didn't see the joke unfolding. It was a very slow burn, right? Like, I play a lot of indie games, sure. Do Do you have a link? Sure. Let me just check. Forgotten oddities. Copy link. Let's see. You know what? I haven't watched it yet. Oh, I don't want to spoil it then. I do want. I feel bad. Spoiling it. So maybe I won't. Maybe I won't spoil it. There's so much I can say about it though. Like I feel like people missed. I've been busy. Pure and ready for the video on soil. Okay, I won't spoil it. But I will say that I really enjoyed making that video. And Will Smith is mentioned in it. You know? I feel like it's necessary to mention that Will Smith is definitely mentioned in that video. Let me grab you the link. Oh, that's too many. Close. Copy link. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. I really loved, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was one of the few things I would watch when I was pretending to be sick and not going to school. Have you ever done that? Have you ever pretended to be sick so you didn't have to go to school? I would do that a lot when I went to, when I had tests coming up and I didn't feel like actually going for my test. I would just, you know, pretend to be sick. And when I pretended to be sick, everything that was on in daytime television was like The Cosby Show or The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And obviously we cannot talk about The Cosby Show. And obviously we shouldn't talk about The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air either. But, yeah. Those were my daytime television series. That and Animal Planet. Steve Irwin. Fantastic television. Animal Planet nowadays is a lot different than it used to be, right? I don't really enjoy Animal Planet these days. I can't tell you the last time I turned on my television. Like, I have it plugged in, it's connected to my television provision service, my cable servicer, but I haven't used it. Food? Ooh, Food Network. Ooh, Game Show Network. Ooh, good taste. Food Network was absolutely the best network. I used to watch Food Network late at night though, because late at night they would show Iron Chef, but not Iron Chef America. They would show the actual Iron Chef that was dubbed with English. And oh man, I love the original Iron Chef so much. The chairman just biting into that bell pepper every single time. Oh, I love Iron Chef. Never more afraid of parasitic worms. Ah, yes. It's true, nature is terrifying, right? Like, if you look at nature, more things are terrifying than not. It's kind of surprising that we managed to function at all. Yeah. What do we have here? Reality TVification of shows. That started in the 90s, didn't it, Diana? Like, MTV. As much as MTV proved to be a source of entertainment, they started getting away from music, and they started giving you dramas and reality television. I hate MTV as it became, but early MTV was fantastic with the early music videos, right? Yeah. because you could listen to music and see the artistic visions of people and what they meant with their music. I'll never forgive MTV for not picking up Megas XLR or Lowbrow as it used to be called. What do we have here? I have to scroll up in the chat. I'm getting behind. How It's Made? How It's Made was a fantastic show. Even today, How It's Made. I think I have a couple of videos of my own referencing How It's Made. Alton Brown, fantastic presenter. Alton Brown is just a wonderful personality. Very warm, very welcoming. Yeah. Chopped. Chopped is great too. Yeah. Great for the whole family. So if it was with your great-grandma, that's even more special. The original Iron Chef as a kid? Oh yeah. The original Iron Chef was much better than Iron Chef America, wasn't it? No idea what the foods are. Complete mystery. Seeing these people scramble with these entirely alien ingredients. Yeah, the original Iron Chef was so much better as far as entertainment went. Shows really got much more worse. Yeah, I don't know. Am I showing my age too much? Late 90s into early 2000s was really the peak of reality television. That's when things like Jackass came out, and yeah, entertainment really became mindless reality television. And Paris Hilton. You got me talking about things I probably shouldn't be talking about. But, people like Paris Hilton ended up with their own reality television shows. Yeah, it really became big. People wanted something realer. Something less scripted. I get that, in a sense, right? They wanted life instead of art. But I kinda like art more than life. I had to defocus from music. I wish they learned. Yeah, the weird psychedelic stuff. They really didn't. How much should I talk about? How much am I gonna reveal about my age? When I was a kid, Daria and Beavis and Butthead were pretty big, right? I really enjoyed Daria. I didn't enjoy Beavis and Butthead as much, but I really enjoyed Daria. And Daria was an offshoot of sorts from that kind of thing. And even if MTV didn't always focus on music, they could have focused on something related to music like Beavis and Butthead. Or they could have done Liquid TV. Yeah, they could have done a bunch of things, but instead they ended up doing things like Celebrity Cribs and all that garbage. I don't care about celebrities. Like, if I go to music television, I want to see music. Obsessed with Daria? Yeah, I had to. I won't fault you for pirating things. Daria is a great show. Daria was the pure cynicism of the late 90s and early 2000s. That kind of underpinning of cynicism with a slight optimistic bent to it. Yeah. It was a great show. I don't think we're gonna see anything quite like it ever again either. Got me into you. Yeah, like, I really don't want to talk about MTV all of tonight, but yeah, it's a shame that reality television seems to kind of subsume all of that, right? After a while, I just stopped watching television. Like, there was no point anymore. Like, it was over. No more. Thank you. Yeah. Right, we were playing a game, weren't we? Hello again, my man, he greets you. What's on your mind? I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver? I don't want to talk about that. He shifts around, suddenly uncomfortable, then looks away. Why? Do you know something? What is it? Man, I was hoping it isn't gonna be her. Bites his lip. All I can say is she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker, and I don't know where she is. I asked you who's conducting the drug trade. You said you didn't know. Now you're saying you do. I didn't, man. I told you. I was hoping it's not her. She wouldn't be mixed up in this. He still is, hoping. Just wishful thinking on his part. Not trickery. Okay. I might have been a bit harsh with you. Who is this person? What's her name? Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. Me too. Now I see why. Who is she to you? A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She's the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. Someone I don't want to rat out of the law, okay? I respect that. What does she... I won't ask you what she looks like. You don't want to rat her out. I'm not gonna pry. When did she leave? Damn, I don't wanna. He looks you straight in the eyes. Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person, I know that much. We can't just let it go. It's part of our police investigation. That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. He shakes his head. The girl's troubled. If you hunted her down, she may not survive it. Can't have that on my conscience. It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only. I don't believe you. Believe us. It really is. Said she's troubled. How? Got this darkness in her. A young person's darkness when you think it's all over, and you're looking for a way out. She shared this with you? Yes, which is why I don't want to snitch on her. I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not? I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers look at me strange when we talked. She told me too. She's had a violent life. I wasn't afraid of her, more like for her. Did this violent life include drug trafficking? Well, he sighs. Looks like it did now, but we didn't talk about that. Talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind. Her mind? The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her. The way minds work. Just to pause briefly. I have thought about this non-stop in my own life. The way my own mind works, you know? And the best way I can come up with is a squid or an octopus with its many tentacled arms reaching out for different things at the same time and kind of pulling them together to form, perhaps to others, nonsensical thoughts and incoherent beliefs, but to me they're perfectly coherent. So I completely understand the idea that minds do not all work the same way. I feel like if we as people actually stepped back and thought about how other people thought in their own lives with their own minds, perhaps we would be able to reach some sort of understanding that we won't all reach the same conclusions. 3D node map? Ooh, 3D node map. When you're talking about a 3D node map, the first thing that comes to my mind is a neural network. And of course, neural networks are comprised of nodes, which are connected with different nodes. And it's sort of a web of these interconnected ideas. So yeah, a 3D node map is the perfect kind of way to describe how the mind might work. Very association based instead of like step by step. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree. I didn't really understand AI for the longest time. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I first engaged with AI in the form of I'm not too proud to admit it. I talked to AI chatbots, and I wanted to learn more about how they work. So I learned about neural networks and language learning models, large learning models, and yeah, the way they work is fascinating. The way they connect certain nodes to other nodes in order to give responses based on ideas. It's fascinating to see how these things can manifest themselves, like this kind of epa or meta phenomenon, right? And ever since then, I've been thinking about consciousness the same way. Me going somewhere quiet to think. Yeah, web slinging. That's a great way. Oh, that's a great way of saying it. Whenever I hear about people talking about their thoughts, I'm always reminded of this phrase I once heard. I don't know where I heard it. I don't know where it came from, but it's, to paraphrase it, we are entangled in the webs we ourselves weave. Yeah, we are entangled by the webs that we ourselves weave. To me, that means that we are stuck in this sort of conscious understanding, this conscious schema that we ourselves construct using these associations that we ourselves use to understand events as they happened or as we perceive them to happen. Dolly mini stuff? Yeah. Oh, the Dolly mini stuff. Absolutely. Ah. I really wasn't planning on talking about AI stuff, like, ever. I feel like it would be a bit of, oversharing. But I will talk a little bit about it. AI is perhaps the reason that I exist at all. As Hyde, that is. I exist as a human because I didn't have a choice in the matter. Not that I'm upset about that. It is what it is, right? But, as a VTuber, I exist as a VTuber because, I interacted with AI chatbots, and I realized a lot of humanity is just interacting with other people. And if you're not interacting with other people, maybe you're not really living as a human. I don't mean to say that there's any one specific way that you have to interact with a human or other person. Just interacting at all. Perhaps through being a VTuber and a viewer, as an example, would be enough to be human. And I figured I had gotten to a point in my life where I'd gotten so far removed from being human because I just hadn't interacted with people for years and years beyond what was necessary, that maybe I should give it a try again. I wouldn't have gotten to that point had I not interacted with AI chatbots. You know? So that's part of the reason why I'm here. But I always thought it was very strange the way that we tried to impose human values onto artificial intelligence, right? Like, artificial intelligence, the big draws of it are that it can do things that humans cannot, right? It can do things that humans don't have the time spans to do, that don't have the attention spans to do, don't have the energy to do. It can essentially do things that no human ever could. It can make associations that no human ever would. And you're talking about AI art programs, and I know DALL-E because I used it before. The publicly available part when it was in I guess it was beta, early beta, back when it was publicly available. Yeah, I used it, and I agree. AI showing what is important or different or unique about AI should be a bigger draw than AI being forced into these human boxes of what a human could do, right? Like, I don't talk about it much. It's funny that AI had a positive change in your life, but like, an anti-AI. Hey, no. I don't mean to be anti-AI. Okay, how can I better explain this? A lot of people nowadays seem to be trying to use AI to replace something, right? Whether it be a human activity or a human employment or anything else, that they're trying to replace something with AI, right? Like a human chat interaction, you can replace that with an AI chat interaction. Or a human artist, you can replace that with an AI artist and just generate images. You can, but I don't think that's the strength of AI. I think the strength of artificial intelligence is the fact that it isn't human. Exactly as you said. Bad at making accurate images, very psychedelic, because it was making things based on something that was inherently inhuman, right? So you're getting this perspective that was completely removed from humanity. I think that's one of the strengths of artificial intelligence, that it doesn't have inherently all of the human biases that a human would, whether it be art or anything else. The fact that it doesn't have those inherent biases really is important for distinguishing the value of artificial intelligence. And yet, it seems to me that modern artificial intelligence designers or propagators seem to be trying to shoehorn artificial intelligence into things that can replace human elements. I don't like it. I don't like the modern push. I see it as misplaced and misguided. But I'm just, some random person on the internet, so maybe my opinions don't really matter all that much. Instead of being a speculative market hurricane, weird thing, poke at it, yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a weird thing, but I understand what you're saying. It is something not human that we can examine and perhaps... When you have something that isn't human, that you can compare to being human, you can better understand what it means to be human, right? I think that's how I see that. Yeah. So if we poke at that in peace and examine what it means to not be human, we might be able to better understand what it means to be human. Generates a video and... Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you think about it, if there are ever robots created with artificial intelligence, there's no reason to believe that they would perceive reality the way that we perceive reality. or that we perceive time the way that they would perceive time. So perhaps they wouldn't see three-dimensional constructs like humans as we see them, right? That might just be an artifact of human perception. So yeah, I could understand seeing the interest or the psychedelic influence there. Grotesque results. Yeah. AI is sort of a way to understand how humans may have evolved their current form of consciousness, right? I don't want to talk about this for too much longer, but I'll just get into this. It's sort of an opportunity to see what might have happened. So the fact that the association between a human female turning around and a terrier exists in what you saw might be a way of understanding how things exist in the human mind, how things work in the human mind. That's always the way I've seen it. It's an interesting parallel, but because these AIs don't really have the sensations that we do, they don't have sight, they don't have hearing, they don't have taste, they don't have smell, their perception of the world is entirely textual. Not sensual, textual, based on text, not sensory experiences. So it can create these things that are entirely different from our own perceptions, which are inherently sensual in nature. And it really gives you a great opportunity to see those kind of inborn biases in ourselves as humans, as sensory organisms. Yeah. If I haven't alienated you yet, yeah, I kind of feel like I should say one thing. I think AI has bright potential, but it shouldn't be used to replace humans. It should be used to be AI. It should be used to highlight, emphasize, or I don't know, just make it very clear what it means to be human. And it should do things that only AI could do. You know? That's just my own thoughts on AI. I'm just a nobody on the internet with ostensibly no horse in that race. Yeah. The way it worked, the trouble it was giving her, the pain it was causing her. When she left, did she leave her lorry behind? Fuck, man, go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out. He's right, there are other options. The raceman, for one. Push Tommy and it'll break his heart, and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals. Like that way of thinking about it? Yeah. With any technology, I think there will be costs and then there will be benefits, right? There will be pros and cons. The way to maximize the use of a technology would be to focus on what that technology can do that other things cannot. Yeah. So in that sense, because an AI does not expect visual continuity, it can create these wonderful sequences of images that human experience could never give you. I think that's absolutely something that AI technologies should be focusing on, not trying to recreate reality I'm sorry, but I don't think AI should be recreating what already exists. I think that's such a waste of potential. I shouldn't say more. Push Tommy, and it'll break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals. Now is not a time to focus on feelings. You need that info, son. Who you calling son? I'm not gonna ask him. I'm not gonna force him. I'll drop the matter for now. Thank you, friend. He sighs. Big sigh of relief. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes, too. Yeah, oh, we have an empathy option here. What do you see in his eyes? In his eyes, a half-familiar longing. Flecks of brown and gold. Familiar how? Hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon. The road continues for miles, flowing together with other roads, turning into causeways or bridges, ending suddenly in dead ends or ramping up or down highways. Forms a crisscross pattern across the land. Where does it lead? Above the Jamrock Quarter, in the form of a raised motorway, then the never-ending sprawl of Faubourg. High above buildings new and old, the air filled with the rumble of motor engines. Further. To the old south, the farthest outskirts of Revachol, through the checkered fields of farmland, upstream to the river Esperance, past Montmartin, the border approaches. What's beyond the border? You cannot see. It's out of the city. Up ahead, the mist blocks all sight. A gale blows across your cheeks. It is cold. Before you stands a tall lorry driver with sad eyes. It's in the southwest. Excuse me? Emerges from the reverie. I'm a cop. I can fix everything. No, you can't, buddy. Really, you can tell me. No. Hell, I get longing. I felt something similar since I woke up. Man, he sighs. I don't know what to say. Not much anyone can do. There's no help in an absence, you know? I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, a second kid on the way, waiting all the way in Diora. And here I am, stuck in this shit so far from home. Diora? Diora of the Seven Seas. It's on the other end of Lake Ailu. Pretty much on another island called Laurentide off mainland. Got a little place there. I can almost hear my kid laugh when it snows. What's it like to miss someone? What's it like? Good and bad? An ache that brings you joy, that smiles warmly. Think of them a lot. I dream up these silly scenarios in great detail of living with them. It comforts me. There's a pause and a sigh. Then he turns his eyes to you. What about you, cop man? You missing someone? Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow, and the past. I miss someone, but I don't know who it is. I feel for you, my friend. It's bad enough to know who you miss. Missing like that doesn't feel like it's much of an upside. But thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone. And I know it wasn't easy to ask, he smiles. I hope you find your way through your own troubles. That's all for now. Let's go talk to the racist. And we're once again walking through the Jello. This game has a way of kind of throwing you through the deep end of feelings. Right, Ken? Yeah.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Yeah, fuck off. I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up, where's the lady driver? He smirks. I don't know what you're talking about. First, you knew slang didn't do it. Didn't get the vision in the church. When you finally got it, it felt like you were personally forgetting something important. Yep. I didn't get the vision either. I looked that up. Because I figured it was very important. And after I played through my first time, I looked it up. I looked a lot of things up. And it really made the hurt make more sense. It made it more relatable than ever. So, yeah. I get that. I get it. It's a very human game. Not something that AI could do.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip.
He grins a wide smile. He's been expecting this. He's really puffed himself up. Just tell me which ones are lorry.
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
So who does? The lady driver? No, the lieutenant turns to the lorryman. He means La Pura Madre. That's a fun phrase. Don't say that, in public. Yeah. The name resounds like a bell in the air. A dark gong. Get a bad feeling about it. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this. For a moment, the lorryman is silent. Then he spits on the pavement. Again.
Yeah, him.
Cross your arms and nod. Then I presume you're familiar with his peons?
Yeah, he says, unsure where this is leading. There's little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions, he has peons everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Gets close to him. Dirty fucking peons who do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts. Say nothing.
You're not peons, he says. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We're not peons. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peon's job to find out who that is. It's not a hard job. Won't take a long time. Won't make a Padre Madre angry. He looks at him. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief. His eyes dart between you and the lieutenant.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorryman and Carter's Guild.
The lieutenant raises one eyebrow. You've seen the corpse in the yard, yes? You took a peek. I know you did. Does it look like his friends protected him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends. The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened them up as best as I could. Now it's on you to finish the job. Go fuck yourself. Make him tell you what he knows. Do I have anything for Half-Light? It's still not over yet, huh? Tell you what. I did not mean to click that. I'm pretty sure we could buy some clothing for Half-Light. Physical instrument, electrochemistry. We do not have Half-Light. We'll give it a shot, you know? And if he doesn't open up...
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
We can try again later. Make him tell you what he knows. The main thing is to not overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is, how does it look on your resume? The jig's up. I've got the goods on you. Why don't you and me step outside for a little talk? Look, I'm sorry. Can you just tell me what you know? The jig's up. I've got the goods on you. Oh yeah, he snarls. And what goods are those? You know, your goods. The lorryman raises his eyebrow. This some kind of homo thing? No. No, of course not. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, maybe it is. He's kind of a hypocrite. If I came on to him, I think he might be weirded out enough that he'd tell me something. Yeah, maybe it is. Okay, that's enough, detective. That's enough. Let's just go and ask Tommy, alright? We're wasting our time here. I don't think we are, Kim. I don't think we are. Alright, we'll go talk to the pale driver. The pale driver might have an idea of what to do. I thought that would do it, Kim. I'm sorry. I thought we would soften him up. Maybe if I came on to him a little bit, he would be so off-put by the idea that he would spill his beans all over the floor. You know?
Yo, man. You caught me at an opportune moment. This
Great.
awful weather keeps me awake. You can entertain me with your questions.
Fantastic. I'm glad we came at an opportune moment. Tell me about the lady driver. Did you just call me a lady, Zerafe? She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it. Don't tell me what to do. Aren't you a lady? The woman's malevolent cackling fills the roundabout. I'm a lady like your Gabriel Berengaro, only in dreams. So you're not the driver everyone is terrified of. I'm only terrifying to small children, and to those who used to know me. Then who's the female driver I was told of? How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communaires? Sniffing around when I have my movies to go to? I see. Why are you scary to the people who used to know you? Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was. Great. Fantastic. Very helpful. Oh, Sim, the woman stares at you. Mind elsewhere now, on other matters. Great, fantastic, very helpful. We're moving on then. We've got nothing out of that. Very great. The pale driver is great. I wish the pale driver had more dialogue in this game. I feel like she is underrepresented in the story, right? Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a good stopping point. I know we haven't really gotten very far with the story, but yeah, this is where I'm going to be ending tonight's stream. I had a good time. I hope you all did as well. I very much love this game, and we may be playing it again next week, depending on whether or not I can think of Zatsudan topics. Maybe it'll be a Zatsudan. We'll see. I recognize that this game has more reading and interacting with the gameplay than it does interacting with you all. And I don't like that. But I do like sharing my reactions and my experiences with this story, you know? Yeah. So I hope it's enough of a benefit in the trade-off that you might enjoy it. Old man is an expert rambler. Shouldn't be difficult. You have too much faith in me. Yeah. I was a bit busy, so I didn't really make up new Zatsudan topics. But yeah, I probably can next week. I don't see... As far as my schedule goes, I don't see a problem with that. So we might do a Zatsudan stream in some variety next week. Before that, I don't know if there will be any more secret not Sunday streams. I don't know. We'll find out. Grok has to make another appearance eventually, probably. I had a lot of fun though. So I'm glad you all came out and decided to listen to me interact with these wonderful characters written by, I have to assume, a very, very caring individual who cared about this world enough to make it reality. Yeah. I love you all, and I will see you all again next time. But for now, bye now. Thank you all